I'm on a quest to find music and art. Supporting local talent is the place I start. Yeah, this is our culture, the place to be. Games, books, arts, and crafts and jewelry. This the guardians of the geekery. 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 And now for today's episode of Guardians of the Geekery with your hosts, Matt, Carol, and Joey.
All right, special Get to the Geekery Market edition. Of course, the Geekery Market coming to the Cabarrus Arena and Event Center on Saturday, November 9th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Going to be awesome. And please remember to bring a canned good or a non-perishable item for the Second Harvest Food Bank. That's our charity, and they're just awesome initiative there. But hey, the debut of Mr. Eric with Shrunk 3D. We're super excited about this. I've never seen anything like this in person. I'm just kind of amazed by it. But anyway, Eric, welcome. We really appreciate you joining us and coming to the market for the first time this year as well. So,
thank you. I'm excited to attend come November.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit what Shrunk 3D is. I know that when I first saw your application to come to the market, and I'm sure Carol's too, but we were getting so many people that are doing those home 3D printing. We get a lot of those applications, but this is something completely different. So explain to us a little bit about what it is.
Yeah, so we're definitely unique. Nobody else in the market is doing this. So this is a lot of brand awareness that we're really getting out there and doing. So what we are a mobile photo booth. So we pull this trailer around to different events here that you see behind me, and we get individuals into the booth and we scan them. And instead of normally when you get scanned, you get a photo, just something flat and just you hang it on the wall. Well, what we do is we take that scan or the image that we collect and we turn it into a 3D replica. So you can get a 3D replica ranging from 3 to 9 inches of yourself. So it's 3D printed, arrives at your doorstep in about 4 weeks. Really exciting. Nothing else is doing this, and that's sort of what drove us to purchase this business and introduce it to the market.
So yes. This is awesome for those of our viewers or attendees that do cosplay. This is an awesome opportunity to wear your best cosplay and actually have like a little action figure made of yourself in your cosplay. That is really, really interesting and exciting.
Yes. Yeah. And just in time for the holidays. I mean, 3 to 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, that could come in time for you to be able to give that as a holiday gift. So we thought that was really cool. So this is like you said, you're the first ones here in North Carolina, right, Eric, that have this franchise. So
correct. Yep. So when we purchased the franchise, we were about number 27 or 28. And right now there's about 35 franchises total across the United States. Right now, we're the only one that's doing this in North Carolina and Virginia. So we, competition is a good thing, but right now there's nobody else that we're competing with. So
that is awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Carol.
Oh no, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, just looking on the website earlier, I was thinking, I don't know. I was born in the 70s, so I used to go to the zoo and you could get like the little that you put $1 worth of quarters in and you get like this horrible wax figure of an elephant or something, and you still thought that was pretty cool as a kid, but this would just look like, I mean, it really is a 3D, like Carol said, like almost like an action figure or a collectible figurine. I mean, the image of they've got several like sports type of characters too, or just regular people, and you could really see their face. The detail is just, I just couldn't believe the detail on it. I was just amazed that you go into the go into the studio there, and all those cameras, and out pops that. I'll have to be honest, Eric. At first, I was a little dubious because I watch way too many Batman '66 TV show reruns, TV Saturday night after Spangoolie, and there's always some elaborate trap that they put him in and turn Batman into a stamp or something. But this is cool. This is legit. This is cool. I will go into the machine in full trust of you. So kudos.
Yeah, so a little bit more detail of the, how it works and the inner workings of us creating that 3D replica of yourself is inside the booth, we've got 95 cameras. So the technology is inside the booth. We get a lot of people that say, hey, can I submit a picture? And you create a 3D figurine out of that. Unfortunately, we can't do that because then you really wouldn't get that 3D, that 360-degree viewpoint. So what we like to, share with everybody and let them know is the technology is in the booth. And so we literally got to get people in the booth to scan. And like I said, there's 95 cameras. Each camera takes 2 images. So I get 190 images of each individual from every different angle. The side, high, low, behind, like front, head on, like 190 images. And some people ask, well, are you guys going to print it on the spot, and do I get to walk away with it today? And unfortunately, we don't print on the spot. This is just a mobile scanning booth is what it is. And it's similar to if you were to go out and get family pictures. You don't walk away with your family pictures that day. Typically, your photographer is going to go back and do some edits and before they send you the final product. That's very similar with us. So we take those 190 images and send them off to our designer, who stitches those 190 images together to create that 3D file. And while they're doing that, they're also enhancing the details. So if you think your hair, if you bring a prop in there, they're going to make sure the details of that prop come out all the way down to your watch, any jewelry you have, the shoestrings on your shoes, the Nike swoosh if you're wearing a Nike. Like, they're going to capture all that, high def detail as you were referring to earlier. So that roughly takes about 2 weeks of the design process itself. Then that 3D file of the 190 images stitched together gets sent off to our printer. And we have a partnership with HP that does the 3D printing. And so these are large commercial printers that are actually printing these for us. And so it takes roughly a week to print. You wouldn't think of it, but for our larger statues, it takes roughly 12 hours for that to be printed. And after that 12-hour period, it still takes 3 to 4 days for it to dry. And then after it dries, then they do a process of sort of smoothing it out or buffing it, sort of like I don't want to say polishing, but they smooth it out so that you don't have all that residue left on your statue. And then that 4th week, it's shipped to you. And so that sort of 4 weeks that you're waiting to get your statue, that's sort of what's going on behind the scenes.
Do you have any there that you can show us?
I do. Hopefully it comes through.
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
That is awesome.
So yeah, you can sort of see here, the detail in this one, just from the camera, the wrinkles in his cape here, all the way down to the logos, the details in the fingers.
Yeah, so, fabric is so difficult to get in a lot of different mediums. So that's really cool.
So I'm hiding in front of it so that it still stays up there. But another one to show you guys is
oh wow.
Oh wow.
And so this guy walked into the booth with his full-on gear. So you can see his mask here, his helmet. It even, zoom in here, you can even see what it says on his helmet. As we spin it around, you see the details on the gas tank or the oxygen tank, and you can even see the color differentiation on it. So
That's amazing.
Down to sort of on his, you can read his name as well.
That's amazing.
That is amazing detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who are just listening to the podcast, I encourage you to go. I know the Mandalorian one is on the website, so you can actually see it.
It is. And this one, I like to point this out. This is a wedding one. And so if we're getting in here, we're showing the details, the details in her bouquet.
Yeah.
I don't know how well that comes through on the camera, but you can sort of see there the details on her leg, the tattoos on her leg. But when we talk about that, it captures all the details. If I spin this one around, it captures his bald spot in his head. So when we talk about, we get 190 images from every single angle, like it's getting that. And you can sort of see here on her dress, she has ribbons on it. And so it really captures the detail of those ribbons that are around her neckline all the way around. So, 95, cameras that are, I don't know the details behind all the technology, but I know that it's high technology, like it's
Yeah, it's a lot. It's
very current and up-to-date technology. And what they tell us is that, the camera technology that's in our booth is light years ahead of the printing technology. And so for us, it's more of, while we're putting out amazing 3D printed replicas, as the 3D printer technology improves, I mean, they're just going to become that more awesome.
And like we were talking about, Eric, on the phone, because of the intensity of the imagery that gets captured and the detail that goes into the printing and the whole process that you were talking about, the 12 hours and the 3 days and the polishing and all that stuff. This is not something that you're going to walk by and say, oh, I have an extra $10 in my pocket, I'll walk inside and do this. This is an investment, but it's something that's really cool and something that you would be able to capture that's kind of timeless. Like, you could get your kids in their superhero costume at 10 years old, and you're never going to get to capture them like that again. And that's going to be a very special thing. But this is something that we wanted to make sure that our attendees knew about as soon as possible, because you may want to save up for this. You may want to go ahead and prepay for this so that when you get there, you've got this one-of-a-kind Christmas gift that you're not going to find anywhere else, or that birthday gift or anniversary gift, etc. Right? So let's talk a little bit about prices and transparency, just so that people can start to budget and plan, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're spot on there. This is certainly not your $10 impulse purchase. Like I said, we can do anywhere from a little 3-inch like this. And I think this size is perfect for, I have I have 3 little kids myself, and I was going to get my family done, and we're going to use these 3-inch pieces as our individual game pawns. So like when we play Monopoly or Chutes and Ladders, we'll get to play with our own little mini Eric and mini Scarlett and mini Beckett and mini Everett. So I think, there's different uses across the board. We have one lady that, sort of posed with her arms out like this and her legs spread because she wanted herself to be a wine topper. And so she just sits on a wine topper.
We did have a friend mention that she thought of doing her Dungeons and Dragons costume, so she could actually get a Dungeons and Dragons figurine of herself.
Because she's a game master. So that when
she's a dungeon master. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I'm however you dress and you come into the booth is exactly how it's going to come out. So whatever you want a statue of is what you need to come dressed as. If it's just your normal everyday clothes and you want a statue like that, that's perfectly fine. But I just want to, it doesn't have to be your normal, just stand there, normal pose. We've also had people come into the booth. I actually scanned a guy 2 weeks ago, that wanted to hold his hands out like this because he wanted his statue to sit on his desk and be a cigar holder.
Oh, nice.
he turned himself into a cigar holder.
Nice.
We also have the ability to do ornaments. And so you mentioned, the timing for this. This event is perfect because you should be able to get it back in time for the holidays. We have the ability to turn it into ornaments. We can do that, a couple different ways. One is just adding a hook in the back of the head to hang it from. But we also had another guy come into the booth and basically lift his hand up like this. And he left a hole in his hand for when it's printed, he can put the string through his hand and he's like hanging off.
Oh, that's cool.
Tree. That's cool.
So all of that I just sort of diverted from the original question that you asked, which is cost. But I wanted to share the array of possibilities that you could do from this. And so getting back to, this isn't an investment. Something as small as this little 3-inch here is going to cost $150. It's going to start at $150. As we add costumes and props and additional people, the cost does go up from there because it's based on the material that it takes to print. So if you think about, adding on a costume or a cape, or a prop, it's going to take more material to print that. And so there's a little bit more of an expense that's added on. But these 3 inches here, they start at $150. And then our 9-inch is starting at $420. So sort of between that $150 and $420 is where we start.
But if you think about some of the statues that people buy of Superman, stuff like that, I mean, that's what it goes for. I mean, this is a actual piece of art that you have of whether it be yourself or your child or your family or whatever it is. And it's something that's going to be around as a keepsake. So I really think it's a cool option and opportunity for people to do something that they just don't have. And we geeks, we're always looking for the next geeky thing that we could do, right? So I'm already trying to think about, like, I could have it so I could hold my pen, but it's like or your iPhone or whatever. So it's like, your head's like this so you can hold your iPhone. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But that's amazing. So
yeah, I mean the premium like Hot Toys action figures that are incredibly, detailed, they're kind of a similar price, and that's not something as personal as this.
It's not you.
Yeah,
It's not you.
I am curious, Eric. So when you go in, how long is there an average it takes once you're inside the booth for the cameras to capture everything, or it depends how much costume you've got on, how many people are in there, or?
No, so that's a loaded question because there's a few things that I could go, but the time that it takes in the booth.
Yeah.
I can get somebody in and out in 5 minutes. And
Wow.
the bulk of that time is putting somebody's information into the computer. That's the bulk of the time. The actual scanning of somebody is 5 seconds. Okay.
Holy cow.
So they stand right there in the center of the booth, and I say, are you ready? And I hit the button on the computer, and we have a countdown of 3, 2, 1. I say freeze, and it snaps the picture, and we're done. Once that picture is taken, we have a TV in the booth, so we can review that picture, or we can review the images, and we usually look at the facial expression to make sure the person, is looking, doesn't have their eyes closed. We also look at hand and feet position just to make sure, whatever it captured is how it's going to print. And so, there's times where I walk around the person to make sure, they don't have their wallet or their phone in their pocket, because if that's in your pocket, there's going to be a little bulge on your statue that's going to capture that. So, literally I can get people in 5 minutes. We can actually cut that time down if we get people to pre-register beforehand. So that cuts down from, roughly the 2 minutes it may take to enter people's details. So then we take the picture, 5 seconds, we review it. Maybe that's another 40 seconds. And then we take the transaction and we're done. If the individual decides that they don't like that pose or that photo, then we just delete it and we do another scan. And so just add another 5 seconds onto there and we'll get another image captured of you. So it's really a quick process, and you know, you're not going to be hanging out in the trailer all day. You'll be in and out, you know, 5 minutes, and then you can go on with your day, checking out the rest of the show.
That's amazing. Wow.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So we are so excited to have you come and do this. And I really think it's going to be something for people. So we are excited to also get the word out just so that people can plan and can do this. Now, Eric, if they want to go and pre-register with you, where would we want them to go?
Yes. So we have a website. It's called shrunk3d.com/Raleigh-Durham. Okay. So shrunk3d.com/Raleigh-Durham. On there, you will see our calendar of events, and you'll see, you'll see the market on November 9th. You'll click on that date, and from there, you'll be able to pre-register.
That's amazing.
You just find the website, find the event on the website that you want to attend. In this scenario, it's going to be the market, and you go ahead and register. And so when we show up that day, your information is already going to be in the computer system.
That's amazing. And how many of them have you gotten for yourself so far? I know you're going to do them for your whole family. I gotta know.
So I've actually been really good. I've only got one of myself, which is right here. So
whoa.
So you can sort of see, I don't know how well that comes across on the TV, on the computer screen, but the
that
detail
actually looks like you.
Realism. That's the only one I have so far. Of course, there's going to be more, but at the same time, my wife's like, you're limited to 2 a year. I was like, 2 that you're going to see.
I have to test the new equipment, honey. How else are we gonna know?
So my kids really want to get in there. We actually store this at a storage unit, so it's not at our house. And so just
probably very smart if you've got kids.
They have yet to be at an event where I've been, because that'll probably be the first time that we scan them. We did attempt to go to my daughter's dance recital, but the location, we didn't provide them enough notice, so the location didn't allow us to bring the booth, because that would have been the first time I would have got my daughter done.
Yeah. So. Well, we are a family-friendly event, so if you've got kids that you want to come, if you want to do all 10 of your kids, Eric will do all 10 of your kids. So
yeah, absolutely.
Do all 10 of your kids. But yeah, so bring them in costume. Remember, we've got tons of children's activities. I hear Santa Claus is going to be there with his lightsaber taking pictures. So, you can go in and take a picture with Santa, but Santa's free to go into the booth with you if you want a picture with
with Jedi Santa.
Jedi Santa will go in there with you. So I'm picking him up right now. So yeah. So
talking about families, we are able to scan 2.5 people on the same booth or in the same scan. So if there's 3 people that want to get scanned together, we can do that. That third person just has to be shorter than the tallest person's shoulder. Okay. Otherwise, if it's a group of 4 or more people, we can squeeze them into the booth and we'll take a reference scan to sort of get the height differences between everybody. And then we can create individual statues of that group, and then you could sort of put them together yourself.
Like a nativity. You could do it.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Easy.
You can tell I'm a little excited about this, Eric. I've got all the ideas. I will be your pitch man out there for you. So I'll have my scooter and I'll just drive people right over to your booth. Now, it is a step up. So if somebody's got a mobility aid, like a cane or something like that, you'll be able to get in. But wheelchairs and scooters at this time, at that scooter, it's not an option. But everything else, and I'm sure as you continue to be successful with this, eventually we'll have the handicap access too. But
Yep.
yeah, this is just great. So make sure to check it out, shrunk3d.com/Raleigh-Durham. The second two favorite cities of Charlotte, Charlotte, then Raleigh-Durham, then what. But definitely make sure to do it. It's going to be a hop in place. And Eric, we're so excited to have you guys here this year. We're really excited, and we think it's going to be amazing to have you there. So
Absolutely.
Thank you. We can't wait to check it out, and are excited to see what comes in November.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
Okay.
we'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Bye.
That was an episode of Guardians of the Geekery. Thank you for listening. Check us out at guardiansofthegeekery.com and stay tuned for more content.